Hey guys, welcome to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So today we're back with a Tristana updated complete guide. But before we get into it, as usual, don't forget to check out her basic guide up in the cards above for her skills, leveling order tips and tricks, as well as some combos. But without further ado, now let's jump into the guide proper. So honestly, her build hasn't really changed much. The only real change I made is I swapped out the Magnetic Blaster for going for IE, because I feel that IE is too strong an item now to skip out on. So basically the build that we have now is, as usual, Gluttonous Greaves, AD and Omni-Vamp first, and then of course here we have Bloodthirster for, again, more AD physical Vamp and stats when you're high on health. Of course you could go for Shield Bow here as well, but I think Bloodthirster is just infinitely better in majority of situations unless you really need the safety. So for Tristana, second item, you're actually going to go for Navori Quick Blades and not IE. You could go for IE if you really wanted to, but I think Navori is more consistent because it gives you your cooldowns back, which of course on Tristana, your E cooldown is really important, your Q cooldown really important, W also really important if you don't get a reset. So I think Navori second is just the way to go in general. Really strong item. Then IE third, of course for the extra AD and of course the crit damage. We also get the health penalty, of course, which is no surprise. And then we go for Mole Reminder for the Armor Pen as well as the Grievous Wounds. Now of course, as with any ADC, I didn't really mention this in other videos, but with any ADC, if you can afford to not go for Mole Reminder and instead go for Terminus, that would be better, because Terminus is a way better item than Mole Reminder. But in most cases, anti-heal is just really essential for the game, so you're going to have to go Mole Reminder most of the time. So last item, you can go for more offense or defense. So you could go for like GA for the revive. You could go for like Maw against AP. If you're against really heavy tanks on the enemy team, Blade of the Rune King could be the way to go. Runan's always an option as well. And of course we have Sterex for the shield as well. So for the runes, of course, Lethal Tempo for the attack speed, because we don't really have any attack speed items in our build, and of course we want to attack quickly. Brutal, because we auto attack a lot, of course, as an ADC. Giant Slayer, pretty much always going to be the way to go, because there's always going to be health on the enemy team. And Alacrity, again, for more attack speed. Now for the other rune, of course, you can go for Bone Plating or Hex Splash, but I think Bone Plating is a lot better on Tristana because of her trading pattern. So for the spells, Flash as well as Exhaust, again, because you're jumping in a lot, Exhaust is really helpful, just to, of course, reduce the enemy team's damage when you're in there. So with all that said, now let's move on to talking about our gameplay. Alright, so now into the gameplay. Of course, as usual, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Any questions, queries, or remarks, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and of course I'll be sure to address them or drop a like. So, Tristana. Who does she like to play with? Well, basically, engagers generally are better, because if they go in, you can get your bomb stacked up really easily. But she also doesn't mind playing with someone like a Lulu or a Yuumi. Also can be really good in the late game. But in the early game, it's a little bit worse because you have a lot less kill pressure. Whereas with engagers, you have a lot more kill pressure in the early game. And we're playing against Lucian here, who is a really aggressive early lane champion as well. So it's going to be probably a really action-packed early game, because both Tristana and Lucian are strong early game and they really want to fight. Leona, of course, wants to look for an engage, and of course Zyra also wants to look for a route for the Lucian to follow up on. So it should be a pretty action-packed early game. But for now, we're only level 1, so we're just getting minions. First minion is going to give level 2. Leona has a relic shield stack already, so if we wanted to, we could try to rush level 2 and see if we can go in. There's the relic stack into level 2. Lucian and Zyra do get level 2 as well here, unfortunately, so no real take advantage of level 2 here. Leona goes in on Zyra. I pop the bomb onto Zyra. I'm trying to chase her down. One more hit is going to do it. And I actually accidentally jump into danger, because I actually thought I needed the jump for the damage to finish off the Zyra, but because I killed the Zyra and then the jump was buffered and went through anyway, I ended up completing the jump but not getting the reset, because Zyra already died before I jumped, if you guys know what I'm trying to say here. So Fizz eased straight into the wall and is now just going to back away. But anyways, me and Leona both died to the Yasuo roam from mid. Yeah, which was not pinged by the Fizz at all, but even if it was, it wouldn't have helped that much, because if I still misplayed with the W, I would have died regardless, so not too important info there. Leona tries to go in again. Sword goes in between the goalposts though, so it doesn't really work out. We are level 3 now, so we do have, of course, the attack speed buff, which is going to make stacking the bomb a lot easier. However, because Zyra was not in lane, or rather Zyra was dead, Lucian has been getting solo XP, so he's actually out-leveling me. He's actually level 4 now, whereas we're still level 3. And Zyra, of course, just ticked over to level 3. So that's something we gotta, of course, take note of, that Lucian is 1 level up. We need like 1 more minion to hit level 4, most likely. And they are, of course, contesting the bush control, and they do remove the control ward. But we're just gonna replace one immediately. And here we have the wave in a very nice spot. Lucia gets caught out. I put the bomb onto him, focusing him down. Of course, bomb pops, he goes down as well. Now we're focusing Zyra. Nautilus goes the wrong way, it ends up basically doing nothing. He's now getting focused down as well. Ignite comes down to Nautilus, stun comes down. Varus Q comes down to pop the blight stacks, and Nautilus goes down as well. By the way, guys, we have a Varus jungle, and this is actually the 3rd game in a row that I have this Varus jungle. So, 3 games ago, he was on the enemy team. Last game, he was on my team. And this game, he's on my team again. Varus jungle, really weird pick. But this guy, surprisingly, has actually been doing pretty alright on Varus jungle. I mean, I've watched him 3 games in a row. He generally does fine, but it's still a really weird pick. It doesn't change the fact it's a weird pick, but at least the guy knows how to play Varus, and at least he knows how to play jungle, I guess. So it has kind of worked out for us. So yeah. Alright, so here, just quickly clearing up the waves and the Zyra plants, for that matter. We do have Varus in the area, pinging to engage. However, you know, we need Leona to look for engage. We can't really engage her. He is in the bush here. However, Zyra is missing, and Lucian is playing way back, so maybe they have it warded. So Leona tries to go in, doesn't quite hit onto Lucian, does hit onto the Zyra though, and I actually popped the ulti by mistake. I fat fingered the ulti instead of the E, but here it does kind of work out though. We do get the reset, and we do end up dying to the tower, unfortunately. Yeah, because we were in the range and we did tank a tower shot, so we do end up dying. But we are 4-2-2. We are, you know, incredibly fed. Most fed person in the game at the moment, so I guess, you know, it's not too bad. Nice win wall by Yasuo to block the Varus ulti, and now Varus is really low, but Yasuo stuck in a 3v1, does pop his ulti to save his own life, but the ignite with the Varus damage is going to finish the job. So here I'm really close to getting my Bloodthirster, so I'm of course working towards getting the Bloodthirster. Here I'm going to block the ulti for the Leona, who's 1 HP. I jump over, quickly kill the Zyra. Lucia gets stunned. I'm free hitting onto him for quite some time, jumping on top of his head and getting the kill there as well. So nice, you know, 2 kills there. Leona was able to basically bait them to keep on going in, and I was able to come in to block the Lucian ulti, which does, you know, feel a little bit weird as an ADC, because you're rarely the one who's blocking damage for someone else, because normally you're the one who's getting targeted. But the rare instance where the support is getting targeted and the ADC has to block instead, which I do because I was of course at full health, whereas my support was not. And yeah, we get even more fed. So of course, Tristana is one of those champs that when you snowball early game, you know, the game just gets so much easier for you because you don't have a mid-game power trough. In fact, you now have a mid-game power spike. And you of course spike every item you get, and you're just going to scale really well into the mid and late game. It's just really beautiful. And with 6 kills in the early game is exactly what we wanted. We're not even 6 minutes into the game, so more than 1 kill per minute at the moment is really what we're looking for as a Tristana. Of course, you can see the power of how Leona works as well. Like, just lock him down for so long that allows me to easily get a kill. Once again, the same thing happens, which the ulti tries to go into Lucian, but Lucian escapes, and Zyra ends up getting caught by the E instead, and we easily finish her off. Stun goes in onto Lucian, Leona W ends up finishing him off. But either way, we end up killing both of their bot lanes once again. And once again, we are incredibly fed. I mean, at this point, Leona's double of Zyra's gold, literally. And I'm like 2k gold up on Lucian. And we're about to get this tower. Varus does get first tower, so this will be second tower, which is just as good. So both mid lane tower as well as bot lane tower are now down. So my whole team is ahead as a whole. We have an 8k gold lead at the moment. Fizz is fed. Varus is doing alright as well. Pretty fed compared to the Nautilus. And Aatrox also fed, who's building lethality. So whole team is fed. We're accruing a huge gold lead. Nearly 10k gold at this point. So it should be a relatively simple game. It looks pretty stompy from where I'm standing. Yeah, so here, rotating back down to catch the wave and maybe possibly even get more picks if the enemy team makes the mistake of overextending once again, which they have done multiple times. They've gone caught by Leona East countless times at this point. But they are missing at the moment, so we're just going to clear out the wave and we're going to rotate to mid. We can see Nautilus is on the red buff, so only the bot lane is missing. Everybody else is kind of where they should be, and we kind of know all of this. So your bot lane is now actually back in bot lane. We're just going to ward over the wall there to just check out what's going on. So we can see Nautilus as well as Yasuo, but can't really fight, especially because Yasuo kind of hard counters ADCs. So here Nautilus kind of just runs face first. Again, I fat fingered the ulti instead of the bomb. So Nautilus ends up nearly surviving. I'm trying to hop over the wind wall to finish off the Nautilus. Yasuo for some reason ults back in, which allows me to actually free fire on him. Now Lucian gets exhausted by me, Fizz ulti goes onto him, bomb gets popped, Fizz ulti pops as well, and he goes down. So yeah, I mean, if I didn't fat finger the ulti there, I do believe I killed Nautilus because I would have done a lot more bomb damage and stuff. But anyways, yeah, that's like the 2 times in the match I fat fingered the ulti instead of the E, which doesn't really happen to me at all actually. So I'm not sure why this happened twice in the same match. Really strange stuff, but yeah, a little bit unfortunate there. So here you can see that Fizz is like basically just as fair as me at this point, even though he does have less gold, so he's probably been farming really well. But yeah, so here we're looking to make another play. We can see Fizz is hiding in the bush and Leona is making her way there as well. Yasuo about to run straight into the bush, hopping over, putting the bomb on him, and he is done for. Zyra has to now run for the hills. She can't step up. Leona actually hex flashes over and tries to find a pick, but doesn't really work out. We know Nautilus is here. We can see him. Zyra is still here as well. I'm just going for the mid wave so we can push in the mid wave and get something done. And a fight ends up breaking out there between the Darius and the Zyra together with the Fizz and the Leona. Zyra instantly gets popped by the Fizz, but now Darius is trying to run them down. I'm on the way, so is Nautilus for that matter, so we probably don't want to take the fight. Both Leona as well as Fizz is pretty low. However, the Nautilus out comes in, so we have no choice but to fight. And here I'm just focusing down the Nautilus, trying to pop the bomb on him. But he gets dissuaded from going in any further. Some free autos onto the Darius as well, who of course we outranged by a mile. So he can't get anywhere close to us. Especially since this Darius does not yet have Proto Belt. So the next dragon is about to spawn. And of course, it's Infernal Dragon Soul for the enemy team, so we of course want to deny a dragon so that they don't get soul. Yeah, can't really engage on the Nautilus jungle here because he does have a tower. We'll take a little bit too much damage there. So here we are going to try to destroy the tower. We take a tower shot to reset the tower aggro. Tower goes down. And I'm just free fighting on Darius over the wall, so I'm in no danger whatsoever. I'm just blasting. Darius goes down. Nautilus is now the one in trouble. I'm putting my bomb on him, trying to blast him. There we go, with the ulti as well. Damage calculated perfectly with the auto and the ulti. He dies. I get the reset, jump out of the tower in style, and pick up the enemy wolves while I'm at it. Enemy blue buff is up, so I'm going to help Varus pick up the blue buff a little bit, just leash it a little bit for him. And since Fizz is not interested, I'm just going to take the blue buff. He hasn't even indicated his interest by walking over. So bomb onto the minions just for a really quick wave clear, clearing up all of those minions, and we can now back. Or rather, there is a red buff here, so I'm just going to get the red buff, or like help Varus get the red buff, and then I'm going to back.
Rampage.
And let's see if we can get the IE. Not quite. We get the IE components, so less than 700 gold to get the IE, but not quite there yet exactly. So here, mid wave again, not really pushed. Fizz likes to go side lane, so I'm just going to go mid and constantly keep the mid lane pushed. Mid lane Pyra, of course, very important. And here Darius is caught in a fight with my team. Looks like he is dead. So there he goes, and now we have everybody pushing mid. Nautilus and Lucian are getting distracted in the top lane by the Aatrox, who is putting in a shift up there in the top lane. So here we've gotten the tower, and we have Yasuo and Zyra responding. There's not very much we can do, but not very much they can do either. So instead, I'm just going to reset and get my IE, which of course we do have enough gold for that now. So IE completed, of course, huge 3-item power spike for me. And Baron is now up. Honestly, I think we are so far ahead that we could actually just start Baron straight up. Like, we're at this point of 15k gold ahead of the enemy team. We can definitely just start Baron if we wanted to, but instead we're having a random fight at the top lane. Fizz has to flash away. Leona now getting caught by like basically 5 people. Darius flashes in, gets the pull onto her, and now I'm just kiting the Darius away. Now, if that wind wall wasn't there, I would have actually killed the Darius. I actually do kill the Darius. The red buff gets the... Do I even have red buff? I don't have the red buff. Something gets the job done. But he does die. Fizz gets executed by the Baron. And we do get the Baron buff. And I don't have jump, so I can't get over the wall. So instead, I'm just going to have to walk over. But it doesn't look like a fight's really going to happen anymore. So I'm just going to hit mid and just push in with the Baron. Aatrox is pushing in top. But Aatrox kind of trolls here, because he ends up going for the Crux instead of just pushing in the wave and getting the tower. So instead, I'm going to have to come up here and do the job for him to push in the wave and you know, get some tower damage down, or maybe get the tower. But now we can see Yasuo is rotating up already. Zyra is in that bush there, so it's getting dangerous now. We can't really get the tower because the enemy team is kind of all rotating here. Lucian's there as well. Aatrox gets into a fight here. I'm just trying to force Yasuo's wind wall. There it is. So Yasuo's wind wall is gone. Now when Leona or like the rest of my team get here, we might be able to actually fight because Yasuo's wind wall is down and the cooldown is decent, you know, decent duration. Ends up nothing actually happens. I'm just going to actually back and pick up QSS, which is going to be a huge pickup, especially for Zyra roots, predicting a Yasuo tornado or a Nautilus ulti that's on the way. You can definitely QSS all of those. So here I'm running straight to mid to join my team. You can see Aatrox and Fizz are also collapsing. Leona is going in on Yasuo, I believe. Yasuo's flashing out. Varus has correctly pushed in another wave. So now we have 2 lanes to play on, which is exactly what you want. Enemy team goes to defend bot and we're just hopping over. Honestly, we aren't even needed because our team is actually so fed at this point. But we want to have some fun, so we're going to flash forward. Just basically press all our buttons on Lucian, ulting him even straight into the Nexus, and that's pretty much going to be it. Only Nautilus left alive. Even though there is the Nexus shield, we can simply just focus it down and end the game right here. So I'm going to leave you guys with the stats as usual. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and goodbye.
Victory!